Welcome to another episode of Bar Banter, coming to you from the third floor studios above O'Callahan's at 29 West Hubbard. Now, with me today is quite possibly one of my favorite people in Chicago. This is Bunny. Now, that's not her full name, so you need to tell us the full name.
Thank you,
Yes,
Teddy.
yes.
My real full name is Katie Bunny Raffanello. My mom calls me Kate, but most people call me Bunny.
Okay, so here's the story, Katie, Bunny. I'm calling you Bunny.
Call me Bunny.
Honey Bunny.
Call me whatever you want.
She's with CH Distillery. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Vice President of Sales in Chicago.
Vice President of Sales. That's awesome.
I know. I can't believe they gave you that title.
I'm not. I'm a district sales manager in the city for CH Distillery. We're local. We're about 13, 14 years old. And we acquired Jeppson's Malört a few years back and brought it back to Chicago. So now Jeppson's Malört is part of the CH family.
And we are happy that you are back in Chicago. Now, let's do a really quick Cliff Notes history of Malört and what it means to Chicago and how it came in to play. Now, what I know, and you can correct me and interrupt me anytime you want, is Carl Jeppson came over from Sweden.
Correct.
In, I believe, early 30s.
That's right.
And Prohibition was going on. And he's like, how can I get around this? And so he got his, whose recipe was this? It's a digestif.
So yeah, it's a wormwood liqueur. So basically, you would say it's a bitter schnapps or a breast. A breast.
Breast.
It's a breast.
Doesn't taste like any breast I've ever had.
It's a Brennivin. It's a breast. So basically, it's a wormwood liqueur. And wormwood is a digestive. It's a medicinal, botanical. It's good for your digestion. And it grew in southern Sweden, where Carl Jeppson was from. Rumor has it he smoked a lot. He had no taste buds. He kept making it stronger. He came here as an immigrant from Sweden to Andersonville, started peddling his strong brew.
Medicine.
Right. That's right. And apparently everybody believed it was medicine because it was so different, unique.
Right. Yeah, it's true. I mean, and this is the truth. If I ever have a bad sour stomach, I take 2 shots of Malört and it's like cleared up within 2 minutes. It's true.
It's magic, really, is what it is.
It is a magical liquid gold is what it is,
right.
Basically.
Teddy gets it.
And so here we are, and now it's become, as you know, this is a rite of passage when you come to Chicago.
100%.
If you come to Chicago and you've never tried Malört, you have to. I mean, because if you don't, you're kind of a puss.
Yeah,
you know?
are kind of a giant pussy.
Now, people don't believe me also that, like, I actually like it.
It is an acquired taste. And the rumor has it, like, on the old tracks that they used to hang on the edge of the bottle, are you brave enough? Are you the 2-fisted drinker? By the 3rd one, you're ours,
Right.
And I think there's some truth to that. I mean, the first one is definitely not the best surprise.
No.
What was your first?
The first one was, I mean, I like herbal stuff. So I like Fernet. I like things like that. It was a shock at first because it's unlike anything you've ever tasted in your life. I mean, people will say, well, what does it taste like? I cannot explain this. And so I go to the marketing department for Malört and then quote some of their things where it's like, well, it's kind of like getting in a fight with your dad. It's kind of like unfriending someone in person. A hot dumpster fire.
That's right.
But
tastes like regret and shame.
Right.
And there's a lot, and it's the people's elixir. I mean, it really, all of those taglines are from the end user. The Malört drinkers made those up. We don't take credit for that.
What's funny is there is actually a page on Instagram that's all about the faces of Malört. And I've taken several videos of people who've done their first shots. I love giving people their first shot of Malört.
It's endlessly funny.
It is, because some people are like, it's not that bad. And I'm like, wait for it.
Yes, the shot that keeps on shooting.
So I'm like, wait for it. And they're like, oh, okay. I'm like, and here comes the warm belly. And they're like, yeah, how many of these fucking shots have you done? I'm like, well, it's muscle memory, really, is what it is.
I don't think I've ever seen you make a face from a shot of
No,
Malört.
no.
No, you're like,
Let's talk about, well, first of all, let's talk about how we met. Because she is one of the most fun people in the world. And
get out. I mean, at one time I was, I think, really fun.
Well, now you're 50, so. Oops, sorry. Sorry, she's 40.
50 years old. 50. 50. Kick and I stretch. And I drink Malört.
We know.
So we met when I was a young woman. I was working at the Twisted Spoke, which I call the Titty Twister.
Or the Teddy Twister.
Wow.
That's a new drink coming out, by the way.
We're friends.
Yes.
The Teddy Twister. That's a great name for a drink. I'm already like, what's in there?
So yes, we met 10 years ago. Go on.
Yeah. So I was working as a waitress at a cocktail bar. That much is true.
She was working as a waitress at a cocktail bar. Right? Okay.
And you were sitting at the bar.
ADD.
And I know you are, but what am I? You were sitting at the bar with Sean. And oh, poor Sean. We were savage beasts, the crew that worked at that time when I met you. I may or may not have been doing something suggestive with a baguette standing on the bar.
Yes, you were. Yes.
A lot of alcohol went missing when I worked there.
Yeah, a lot of stuff did go on at that bar. The
Yeah,
Twisted
it was
Spoke
wild,
is a great spot. You know, the Twisted Spoke was the first segment that ever aired on Chicago's Best the Old show that I used to host.
It was the first?
It was the first segment ever.
Well, it's a cool place.
Yeah, no, it was great. We did the, Sunday brunch. It was good.
Yeah, I love it.
So yeah, that's how
where
we met. And then we ran into each other years later.
At Rossi's.
When you go to Rossi's with Bunny, you just need to
you better bring a lot of cash.
Yeah, and a rosary.
I love Rossi,
Bring
by
a
the
lot
way.
of cash and a rosary.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I mean, we just been back and forth, and I thought, what better person? And Malört is such a Chicago thing that I just figured. And you've bartended before. We're going to get into that also.
I've worn a few hats for sure.
Yes, you have. I know that you've done everything from working at the United Center to Comiskey Lower Raid Cellular, whatever the fuck that place is called now.
That's right. I'd be working your corner.
Right.
I worked a lot of private events in my life, poured a lot of drinks, served a lot of food,
Actually, Bunny and Stephanie, who was with Diagea, the three of us put together a cocktail that's on the menu at O'Callahan's called I Heart Malört. And you know what? People are like, I'm not drinking that. And I give it to them and they say, this is really good.
Yeah.
And it is good. It makes a nice addition to certain cocktails.
It does. The bitterness can go in where it needs to be bitter.
Hang on a second here. You know what? What are we doing?
We're drinking.
Yeah. I mean, we're like 10 minutes into the show. And we haven't
We haven't had any Malört.
I know.
I'm leaving.
Salute.
Cheers. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here today.
What a treat.
So good. So good. It is good.
Malört.
Wait for it.
Oh,
Malört me.
I love it. I do. It makes you want to have another.
It does.
The first time I had Malört, I will tell you, I was Malörted, as they call it, by the fine people, I believe, Ed at the Flatiron. Are you familiar?
Yes.
And they said, oh, Bunny,
In
you want
Wicker?
in Wicker, right? Do you want a bourbon? Oh, yeah, please, I'll have a bourbon. And they Malörted me, and I thought I had been poisoned, and I thought I had to go home and then wash my tongue with SOS. And how crazy that more than, 20 years later, the company I worked for, CH Distillery, bought Jeppson's Malört. And I'll be selling Malört ever since.
Now, I've never really Malörted anyone. I do kind of feel bad about doing that, except I did it to one dude who was just a complete douche the moment he walked into the bar. You know, the guy who walks in, he's got like the button-down shirt and the suit coat and everything. He's like, what's going on, my man? Right? And I'm like, okay. I'm like, what's up, dude? He's like, yeah, I'll take a double Tito's. I'm like, okay.
I love that voice. I know that guy.
Right? You know that guy, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, so I finally was, and this was about a year ago. I'm like, And he was bugging everybody, like butting in on conversations and like, oh yeah, well, I've been there. I'm like, nobody's fucking talking to you, right? I'm like, you know what? Let me buy you a shot. He's like,
Yes.
why? I'm like, because you just seem like a really cool dude. And he's like, well, okay. So I pour Malört. I like Malört, so I don't care. And I pour. He's like, what is it? I'm like, it's just a shot, man. It's just like a welcome to Chicago, from Philly or wherever the hell you're from. We do this shot, and he was like, what the fuck was that? I'm like, what's wrong? He's like, what? He did not know what to say.
Oh, yeah.
He went to the bathroom. Apparently, he threw up and then left. So that was my easy way of getting him out. I'm like, wait, you got to pay your tab first.
Yeah.
But other than that, take care. Bye.
I mean,
I'm like, you've been malorted.
You've been malorted.
You've been malorted.
Yes.
My only other one, I know you have a malort story of customers, but you've got to have at least one or two like reactions.
Oh, yeah. I have definitely, when I'm, giving somebody the malort for the first time, I'm like, I am not as nice as you. I'll say, you haven't tried this? This is delicious. You haven't had this. It's such a Chicago thing. It tastes like butterscotch. I'm like, it's delicious. And the people around all agree if they're good Malört heads.
Look at the label. It's so pretty. And
it's like Swedish.
Yeah.
And they take it down and they're like, why did you do that to me? I mean, they're so mad. And I just endlessly laugh. And then I've been swung at before.
Have you?
Yeah. Like, what? And I'm like,
wow.
I mean, it's got a lot of power, this juice.
Yeah.
Yeah, people can get really pissed off. I had one woman, she was from a different country. I can't tell you which one. She was holding a baby, and she said, whoa, what's that? I said, this is Malört. Try it. She took it. She loved it. I love this. Can I take a picture of the bottle? She was holding the cup, and the baby took the cup and started licking the cup. And I said, well, babies love Malört too. But I was like, are you human? Or like, no one says I love it right away.
Right.
She loved it. But some people are used to bitter.
I have had a couple people who say, I love that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I like it too. Like, I really do like it.
People that like Campari or like Fernet, botanical bitters, they love it.
We talked about this on another show also, but I talked about this with Orlando on one of our episodes. Is like, people are from the service industry when they come in and they order a High Life or an Old Style or whatever and a shot of Malört.
The Chicago handshake.
That's the Chicago handshake. A Old Style and a Malört, but 95% sure that they work in the industry.
Absolutely.
Because it's just kind of what all of us do, right?
Yeah, it's totally it, right? It's chartreuse, Fernet, Malört. In the back of the house, in the front of the house, at their house at home, everywhere, but it's industry
There's
people.
one on my bar at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Which I need a new one, by the way.
It always blows my mind, really, though, that the hardcore Malört heads have a bottle of Malört at home and they just drink it.
Yeah.
Because it's such a social thing.
It's good for your stomach, man.
Right.
It's medicinal, bunny.
It is. And it's a little less alcohol, too.
It's 70 proof, right?
Right. So you can have like 20, 30 shots and be fine.
Yeah, at least. As opposed to like, if you're doing rumplements, you're fucked after
toast.
10. Right?
Toast.
Right. And that was Kaz and me last week. Whatever, I'm not going to talk about that.
You drank rumplements?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I almost threw up just thinking about that.
Really? It's the bartender's mouthwash.
But if you're a really hipster bartender, it's totally Fernet.
No,
vodka.
Totally. Yeah. Fernet is like the hipster. You go to Wicker Park and they sell more Fernet in Wicker Park than they do anywhere in the country. I guarantee it. Because they got their beanies on when it's 80 degrees and they got their flannels on and their ripped jeans and they're like, let's do a Fernet, man. I'm like, it's 85 fucking degrees. I'm not doing a Fernet right now. All right, I'll do one. I'm like, yeah, okay, it's fine.
Fernet.
My favorite reaction to Malört was when these three dudes came in. And the one guy looked exactly like Kanye West. I mean, like to a T. And I was like, holy shit, is that Kanye? Like literally. And it wasn't. So they come in, they sit down. These guys are going to a show at the House of Blues. They're like, yeah, our boy's never done a Malört. I'm like, oh, well, okay, you should probably do Malört. He's like, what's Malört? I'm like, they're like, don't worry, man, you just got to do it. And he's like, okay. So he does it. And at first he's like, okay. He's like, yeah, a little weird, blah, blah, blah. I turn my back to go to the register and I come back and I look at him and all I see, and then he sounded exactly like Kanye because he was like, woo, woo. And like, I nearly pissed myself. I mean, it was the funniest reaction ever. And he's like, why would you do that to me? I'm like, dude, it's a rite of passage. Like now you're like part Chicagoan. But he literally was just like screaming for about 45 seconds.
I love that. I didn't know if it was going to be he liked it or he didn't like it.
No.
Either would have been fine.
Like, it hit him. It finally hit him, and he was just like, he's like, I'm like, just don't talk for a while. You know?
Yeah. I mean, you should have videoed that.
Just enjoy it.
Yes, enjoy the taste till tomorrow morning.
I have done videos of several people who are taking shots of Malört,
Yes.
and they have posted it on the Faces of Malört, whatever the Instagram page is, and they are funny. I mean, they're really funny.
If they say to me, "Oh my God, that tastes like you burnt a rubber tire and, earwax and you sprayed Aquanet in your mouth and, licked a fucking whatever." And I'm like, why are you eating earwax and spraying hairspray in your mouth? Right. Or chowing down on a bowl of potpourri? Like, that's weird.
That's kind of like when someone says this tastes like shit. I'm like,
does it?
Yeah, does it? I don't know.
I don't know. Well, you would.
I'm going to trust you on that one.
All right. Yeah, I do like to hear the reactions. I heard one recently. This guy goes, "Oh, that tastes like a used Band-Aid."
Why are you chewing on used Band-Aids?
Well, that's exactly what I thought.
Right.
And I just thought, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah.
I'll try that out.
I like to always have one segment as the douchebag of the week, and I think I gave you mine, but I'd like to know like one of your biggest jag-off moments as a server in the Chicago industry.
There was a douchebag when I worked at Sox in the Stadium Club. We called her the Green Monster. And she complained about every fucking thing. She was like probably 75. She always wore like a green hat and a green St. John
she really
suit.
Was the Green Monster.
Yeah, and she was like, I want a good server, and then we'd give her the next one. I want a good server, just go down the line. This is the worst gimlet I've ever had. So we decided, you know what? I'll take her. I'll take the Green Monster today. I've got her. I'm ready. So me and my friend Tom Green, we made the cocktail. She hated the cocktail, and we decided we're going to wang the cocktail.
You're going to wang it?
Yeah. We're going to wang it. And
someone's going to put their wang in the cocktail?
That's right.
Someone stirred it with their genitals?
He whipped it out. He stirred it. We gave it back to her. Guess what? She decided it was the best gimlet she'd ever had in her life. So yeah, a female elderly douchebag. That was memorable.
That pales in comparison to mine lately, but that's fine.
Have you ever wanged a drink?
No, I've never.
I just spit.
I've never.
I was so excited about that story.
Never thought you as a spitter. I've never wanged a drink. I swear to you, I've never done that. It's too cold. There was shrinkage, Jerry.
It was the pool. It was the gimlet.
It was the pool. Or the gimlet. One of the two.
Right. I kind of want to believe that you haven't, but
I'll take not.
It. Okay.
No.
The moral of that story is be nice to your bartenders and servers.
Bunny, you're a national treasure.
Oh, stop.
You're one of my favorite people in the world. And thank you for bringing in the giveaway. And we'll run through that one more time before we leave. But no pun intended, but parting shots. Do you love what you do?
I love what I do.
We love when you come in. When Bunny comes in, I get like kind of giddy. Like, oh, Bunny's here.
I mean, I just love the industry. I love all the bartenders, the servers, the back of the house, the front of the house. I love it. I don't want to ever be away from it. And this job allows me to go in person to all these places. And I just love it. I mean, I could be selling, a mop, as my friend used to say. I could be selling mops, but I'm selling Malört. And it's the most fun. It makes people talk and it makes people hate together. It makes people love together. I just love it. It's a great job.
But you could sell snow to an Eskimo, so it doesn't really even matter. I love it too. I've been in and out of this industry for, 54 now, since I was like literally 13, my parents owned a pub and I was pulling beers for cops, like, and I've just been in and out of it and I love it. And when the opportunity came across as me being freelance in the media, I was like, I'll do it during the week. And it's like one of the best decisions I've made in a long, long time because you get to meet so many nice people.
So many lunatics,
and then
they're
like
the best.
these people here are like family to me. I mean, I've known Peter for 15 years and I've watched the kids grow up as they were like running through the bar once in a while. So it's really kind of cool to now be working with Dom, Peter's son.
I love it, Dom. You
and things
rock.
like that. It's like it's just fun. My parting shot is if you haven't tried Malört, don't be a wuss and try it. It's a rite of passage, and it's a Chicago company. It's been a Chicago company since the early 1930s, and you don't have to be in the service industry to order a Malört. You need to just sack up and order one for yourself.
That's right. Ask for a Chicago handshake. Any bartender will know what that means.
The Chicago handshakes
They know
all
what
the
that
way.
means.
So
we have to have one more because there's one more parting shot.
Yeah, it's your parting shot.
Oh, it is. I didn't really do it.
No, well, I mean,
my parting shot is thank you for having me.
Bunny, I love you.
I love you. Thanks, Teddy.
Thank you for watching us. Thank you for listening to us. We really appreciate you. Keep your eyes and ears out, please. Remember, like, share, tag, whatever. But we want to make this thing bigger and take it on the road someday, baby. Cheers.
Drink more Malört.
Drink more Malört.